May 11th, 1981 marks a significant day that reggae music lovers will never forget. This day is when the world bid farewell to the iconic Bob Marley, leaving behind a loving family and a lasting mark on the world of music and beyond. Join us today as we'll explore the life of Bob Marley, his remarkable achievements, and how he met his untimely demise. The beginning. Bob Marley was born on February 6, 1945 in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. His mother, Cadella Malcolm, was just 18 years old when she married Norval Sinclair Marley, a plantation supervisor who was significantly older and from England. The couple separated shortly after Bob's birth, and his father Norval was largely absent from his life. Bob Marley grew up in the rural village of 9 Miles in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica, and during his childhood, he formed a close bond with his friend Neville "Bunny" O'Reilly Livingston, who shared his passion for music. Later, he lived in Trenchtown, Kingston, Jamaica, where he faced financial struggles, but found musical inspiration which led him to dedicate himself to music with friend Neville "Bunny, under the guidance of singer Joe Higgs, where he also made a new friend, Peter Tosh. So Bob Marley's musical career began in 1963 with the Wailers. He formed the group with Bunny and Peter Tosh, and they released their debut album, The Wailing Wailers, in 1965, featuring the hit single One Love, and propelled the group to reggae prominence. After marrying Rita Marley in 1966, he fully immersed himself in Rastafarianism by 1969, collaborating with producer and musician Lee Scratch Perry to produce notable tracks like Soul Rebel and Small Axe. However, Bob Marley's partnership with Lee Scratch Perry ended abruptly when he sold their records in England without consent, thinking they were his, which unexpectedly brought the Wailers' music to the attention of Island Records owner Chris Blackwell, who later played a significant role in Marley's career. Chris Blackwell, Island Records owner, signed the Wailers after their partnership with Lee Scratch Perry ended, producing their debut album, Catch a Fire and Burnin', which featured hits like Get Up, Stand Up, and I Shot the Sheriff, gained significant attention. In 1974, Peter Tosh and Bunny Livingston left the Wailers to pursue solo careers. After that, Marley then formed a new band, Bob Marley and the Wailers, with his wife Rita as one of the 3 backup singers known as the I-Threes. This period saw the release of groundbreaking albums like Natty Dread and Rastaman Vibration, which further solidified Marley's status as a reggae icon. Which one of his music tracks is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. The Accident. Bob Marley was way more than just a famous singer. He was a powerful activist who used his music to fight for social and political change through his lyrics. He called out economic and social injustice, and it really hit the Jamaican people and people all over the world. His music became this shining light of hope and unity, breaking down barriers of politics and culture. He was having back-to-back success, but on a fateful day of December 3rd, 1976, a group of 7 armed men burst into Bob Marley's home at 56 Hope Road just before the Smile Jamaica concert. Marley and his band were on a break from rehearsal when the attack happened. Rita Marley, Bob's wife, was shot in the head and Bob himself was hit in the chest and arm, but luckily both survived. According to Bob Marley, the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, Edward Sega, who was the political rival of Michael Manley, was allegedly behind the shooting, and Marley claimed that Sega's bodyguard Lesta Jim Brown Coke was present during the attack. Nancy Burke, Marley's neighbor and was his friend, told the story of how she heard Alvin Patterson, the Wailers percussionist, yell out, "It's Sega's men. They came to kill Bob." Also after the shooting, multiple reports suggested that the gunmen returned to Tivoli Gardens, a neighborhood known for its loyalty to the JLP and the notorious Shower Posse gang. The gunman who attacked Marley's home was suspected to have political motives, as the Smile Jamaica concert was viewed as an endorsement of Manley's government, which faced opposition from rival political groups. Despite being shot, Bob Marley remained determined to perform at the Smile Jamaica concert on December 5th at National Heroes Park in Kingston. True to his word, Bob Marley took the stage and delivered an electrifying 90-minute performance for the crowd. He continued on doing concerts for many years. Later in July 1977, Marley received his initial diagnosis of skin cancer called acroleumatosis melanoma when he sought medical attention for what he thought was a soccer-related injury. At the time, treatment options for Marley's condition were limited, with surgery being the primary course of action. When the doctors discovered the melanoma on his right toe, they suggested amputating the affected area. Marley declined the recommendation due to his Rastafarian faith, which prohibited such a procedure. Instead, he agreed to have the skin and tissue around his toenail removed and replaced with skin from his thigh. Even after this serious illness, he continued his concerts. Just days after thrilling the crowd at Madison Square Garden, his health took a sudden turn for the worse. He collapsed while jogging in Central Park in September 1980. Despite receiving treatment for 8 months, his condition showed little improvement. After one of his concerts, he boarded a plane back from Germany to Jamaica, but his health continued to decline during the flight, and upon landing in Miami, he was rushed to the hospital, where he sadly passed away on May 11, 1981, at the age of 36. His untimely death shocked the music community and beyond. What do you think really happened to him? Drop your answers in the comments below. Cause of death. Bob Marley's cause of death was suspicious, as many believed he had been killed by someone. Even though he was suffering from a life-threatening disease, no one could believe he died of cancer. Also, there are conspiracy theories that propose his cancer was deliberately caused. Some believe that Marley's political activism and bold statements made him a target for assassination, suggesting the cancer could have been intentionally introduced into his system through contaminated footwear or a failed assassination plot in 1976. There are other theories suggesting that the CIA, known for its involvement in Jamaican politics during the Cold War, could have been involved in Bob Marley's death, and it is believed that Marley's political activism and rising international influence posed a threat to American interests, potentially leading to covert operations aimed at silencing him. What do you think about his cause of death? Let us know in the comments below. Not only this, some conspiracy theories even state that one of the CIA agents, Oxley, confessed during his deathbed that Bob Marley was among 17 people he claimed to have killed for the CIA between 1974 and 1985. According to the conspiracy theory, Oxley even said, "I gave him a pair of Converse All-Stars size 10, and when he tried on the right shoe, he screamed out." But the theory that Bob Marley was killed by a former CIA agent was debunked. Authorities could not find any record of Oxley's association with the CIA. All the conspiracy theories were debunked, and the official cause of the death was declared melanoma, skin cancer. Unfortunately, Bob Marley didn't receive the necessary follow-up treatments, which was partly due to the limited options available in the late 1970s. Chemotherapy was an option, but it was not typically effective against melanoma because the cancerous cells were resilient and resistant to treatment. Bob Marley's acral melanoma was particularly aggressive, as seen in his young age, a diagnosis, and death. The lack of awareness about this type of cancer in the 1970s likely contributed to his late diagnosis, as his initial symptoms were probably misinterpreted as a wound rather than cancer. At that time, there were only a few medical studies on acral melanoma, making it even more challenging to diagnose and treat effectively. So, Bob Marley's cancer ultimately led to his untimely death, leaving the music world mourning the loss of a legend. After death. Bob Marley's death was a shock to fans worldwide. They were surprised because they thought he was recovering and getting ready to go back on tour that year. Bob Marley received a state funeral in Jamaica on May 20th, 1981. Following a private church ceremony for his family, a large crowd of mourners assembled at the National Arena in Kingston to bid their last farewell to the legendary musician. After his passing, Bob Marley was laid to rest in a mausoleum near his hometown of 9 Mile in Jamaica. He was buried with some personal items that held great significance to him, including his beloved Gibson Les Paul guitar, a Bible opened to Psalm 23, and a stalk of cannabis. Following Bob Marley's death, his wife Rita took a significant step by acquiring Jamaica's first recording studio, Federal Records. This studio held special meaning for Marley, as it was where he recorded his first single, Judge Not, at just 16 years old in 1962. After his death, his final album, Confrontation, was released in 1983, featuring unreleased material, including the enduring hit, Buffalo Soldier. 3 years later, Rita transformed their home into the Bob Marley Museum, which has since become a beloved tourist destination in Kingston, Jamaica, serving as a lasting tribute to Bob Marley's life and legacy. Not only this, Rita established the Bob Marley Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to supporting disadvantaged communities in Jamaica by offering financial assistance and resources to combat poverty. Despite his passing, Bob Marley's impact on music and popular culture has endured. He was recognized for his contributions with several prestigious honors. In 1994, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2001, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That same year, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the Recording Academy. Additionally, in 2010, he was ranked among the top 100 greatest artists of all time by Rolling Stones magazine. The latest film to tell Bob Marley's story is Bob Marley, One Love, which premiered in 2024. Rita Marley, his wife, and his children Ziggy and Cedella were all involved in the production. The role of Marley was played by actor Kingsley Ben-Adir, bringing the legendary musician's life to the big screen. Bob Marley's untimely death has left a lasting impact on the music world, but his legacy continues to grow stronger with each passing day. Even though he was gone too soon, he still lives in the hearts of those he has inspired. And if you liked this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let us know who you want us to cover next.